welcome back to Just Women Live podcast.
I'm Lynn.
And I'm Sophie.
And we're here to interview Julie Waters.
It's so lovely to be with you. That's fine. Lots of my
Known
things.
as the Bad Bitch Hypnotherapist. Now, we met Julia actually online, but invited her to be a speaker at the last Just Women Live. And again, she was amazing and people wanted more. So we invited her to the podcast so we can learn a bit more about you and how we can come and see you and how we can use you. So what do you see most often in the women that you work with? Do you see the good results? Do you see...
100%. And thank you, both of you, for asking me to be with you today. It's such a pleasure because it's so... The reason I call my business Bad Bitch Hypnotherapy is, number one, being a bad bitch is whatever you make of it. It's not always red lipstick. It's not always high heels. It's whatever. It's living a life that feels good to you, you know. And everywhere I went, I was just seeing women that were just burnt out and just overwhelmed, trying to balance spin all the plates. And I can see how amazing women are. And I know, like, we all know amazing women, but they don't believe that. And so it's a privilege when I work with my clients that I want to help them start to realise how amazing they are. But when they come to me, they will typically come, as I said, they'll feel very overwhelmed. They just don't know where. It's almost even like, how did I get to this space? How have I got here? Because it's like, it's not a overnight transformation. Sometimes it will feel that way, but it's a gradual build up. And it's like, sometimes you can think of it like a Coke bottle. It's like, if you shake the bottle once, twice, probably be okay. But if you keep shaking that bottle, eventually you'll explode. So ideally, I want to speak to women before we get to the point of explosion, and just really help them.
They want to reset through you. You basically want to be reset.
Exactly.
Start again.
Yes, and to find like a gentle way forward, because there's no point like us trying to change everything overnight. Our brains, you can't do it. It's not practical. It doesn't fit in with all the things we need to do anyway. Exactly. And our brains will freak out. That's a whole nother thing. Yeah. So it's about learning to sort of change things and turn the tide in a very easy way that fits in with what you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
But you have been in finance for 20 years. Is this the reason that you became a hypnotherapist?
So I have been in finance for 20 years.
It's been really useful.
Yes, it is. And do you know what? It really helps me with my clients, all that knowledge of exploring client needs, helping them with their financial needs. It's really helped me sort of just in a practical way, because sometimes hypnotherapy has a reputation for being a bit alternative, a bit fringe, a bit woo-woo.
Very much so. It shouldn't be that.
It's not, because we can explain it in a very scientific way. And also what I can do with like my finance background is I can bring in all that practical like skills of like extracting client needs, what they want, and we can apply it to where we are currently.
It's pretty quite simple for you, so it's quite easy because you're looking from above.
Yes,
exactly. So much easier with numbers and things like that. So women who are either going through a divorce and they don't know what to do with their finances, do they split their home up, do they split their family? It helps to talk to you, for you to be that person above.
Exactly. And because I have been in finance, I'm very blessed because I've met amazing women throughout my whole career, and the chances are I can like recommend other people that can support them on their journey. Yeah. Because it's a very lonely place when and like we all go through like mental health challenges at one time or another, but it just feels like you are the only person going through it. So if we can just like help, like support you and help you feel like you're not on your own, that in itself is very powerful.
So I've never been to a hypnotherapist. So what does it entail? So when do you feel like you're a bit of a holistic therapist and that you have to find out all about their problems and then go through a treatment process, or how does it work? What happens when we come to you?
That's a really great question. So like when the mode of hypnotherapy that I do is solution focused hypnotherapy. So what we'll do typically in a session is we'll talk about the problem. We'll talk about like we don't want you to sort of reactivate all the stress chemicals and everything by going through it in a lot of detail, but we'll talk about what's going on, but we'll talk about it in a solution focused way. So what we're going to do to move forward. Your brain has an amazing capacity when you sleep, called REM sleep, to process trauma, everything and the stress you've got going on. Your brain can do that through when you sleep.
Yeah.
What we're aiming to do in session is to just talk about how we can move you gently forward. So typically a session will be, we'll talk about what's going on, and then we'll do a lovely element of relaxation at the end. Because the idea of the reason we talk about what we want to do and then we do the relaxation is because it's giving your brain that space to think about how we're going to instigate the changes. And you can think about it in a similar way to, you know, when you're in the shower or you're driving and you have a great idea and it comes to you just like that. That is all that's because your brain is in its best space. It's like in its default mode network. It's kind of it's figuring out all the questions you've posed to it, because you're not actively in the shower thinking, oh, I've got to like pick up my armpit and like wash this. I'm not going to pick up the soap. Your brain is just, you're automatically doing these habits. So your brain can explore the solutions.
So you're not giving them the answers, you're just facilitating the opportunity for them
to do it
themselves.
to tune into themselves and know what the answers
a lot better
are.
doing that way.
Exactly, because you are always going to be the experts on you. You know what is right for you, and I'm just there to help, like, dial down everything, help you figure out the answers that are right for you.
Because there's so much noise, isn't there?
Yeah.
To find that space and to quieten the noise, have that calm and peace, and actually talk about what you're going through. You just don't get those experiences very often.
You know, you really don't, and we do think, especially as like women, that we have to the way that we're going to solve things is to lean in harder, to do more, to push ourselves more. But actually, we've all been there.
Step back.
Exactly. It's just having like a safe container where you're going to be supported and help to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but also a break for your brain.
It reminds me a bit of when you're doing a painting. You get so sort of absorbed and focused in a little bit of it. You don't step back
and
look at the whole picture.
Exactly that. Exactly. And another thing that I will do is it's so funny. One of my clients, she calls me like her hype queen, but also her mental cattle prod, because I will be the one that will be like, I'll be like, but look at all these great things that you've already done. Now we're just going to start moving forward and see what else we can do.
That's clever though, to build the confidence to say, look back at what you have achieved. Stop focusing on what what you're not managing to achieve.
Exactly. So what patterns keep coming back again and again? What kind of what patterns do women keep coming back to you for?
It's usually I'm very overwhelmed.
Is that pre-menopause?
Yes.
Usually.
Yes.
So it's kind of 40s, 50s.
Yes. Yeah. Quite a few women will come to me because they have developed like a fear of like driving sometimes.
I hear that a lot.
Flying.
Exactly.
Flying is something. It's weird because as a child you might enjoy flying, and then suddenly it's like. And also it's like going on rides and things at theme parks, and it's suddenly you get these fears that you didn't have before.
Exactly.
So strange.
You feel sick. Yeah.
And that when you think about these experiences, because one of the really good things that I talk about a lot with my clients is there's very little difference chemically between when you imagine something and when you do it in real life.
Yeah.
So if you think about, like, none of us have, like, fortunately been in a plane crash, I don't think. But, like, if you think about, like, watching the film and you'll have a reaction. Or similarly, like, if you're watching someone on I'm a Celebrity, watch something really, eat something really disgusting, you'll go, oh. And your brain is like empathizing, and you're experiencing the same feelings, but you're not actually doing it. So what we're looking to do as well with like your brain is focus on the good things, remembering the good things that you're doing, so you feel more calm and confident to start moving forward, rather than reliving the things that have kept you stuck and like just getting caught in the doom whirlpool, as I call it.
Yeah.
Of all the things you're going to do.
I think becoming a mother and
Yes.
the responsibilities
100%.
you take
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
make you much more fearful
Yes.
of your life.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I know, like for me personally, going on planes,
Yes.
I became very nervous of flying, especially if I was going on a plane on my own. It's like, what if something happened to me?
Yeah.
Exactly this, and it is very normal for that to be like heightened, because our primitive brain, which is there to keep us alive, is always assessing like risks and threats to our lives. Then when we have little people to take care of, it's then 10x, and it goes up even more, because now not only are we responsible for keeping ourselves alive, but our primitive brain will be like, if something happens to me, something will happen to my children.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it just
I agree with
it
that.
starts to
Completely.
really heighten.
And if you get particularly ill, the first thing you think about is not yourself. You think about your children, and you start thinking about, what will happen to them, or how are they going to cope if I'm in hospital for so long, and you're not actually focusing on yourself at all.
Exactly.
It's amazing how often your focus as a mother is drawn away from yourself, and taking time out and going into a room with someone like you, forcing you to actually think about yourself.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
really important, especially in
Exactly.
those early years of motherhood.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it is hard, because obviously you are really in the trenches, but it's like, how can we start to peer out of the trench, and how can we start to help you move forward and feel a bit better?
So how many times do they come to you? Do you do this online, or?
I do.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yes.
On the Zoom online?
Yes.
Or? Okay.
So I'll see my clients online, mainly because it's just easier for them to fit. Again, I'm not adding, I don't want to add another stress in their
Yeah,
life.
of course.
Travelling around.
Easy. You can do it on the phone or on mobile.
Exactly.
Or on a laptop.
They can come and speak to me, and typically I'll sit, because we're working with your subconscious brain, that relaxation element. Typically I'll see people between 6 and 12 sessions, and I'm always there I want to empower them to manage their own mental well-being. I'm not there to create like a dependence on me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So you really about 6 to 12
6 to
sessions
12.
max.
Yes.
You really wanted to get it over with by then.
Some people will get it, like some people's brains will be like, I know what we're trying to do here.
Right.
So
So
it'll take
suddenly
like,
click it.
yes,
Yeah.
it will be like 4 sessions. Some take a
And then
little
they
longer
might
than
come
12.
back as a refresh.
Exactly that. Yes.
I'm
comes up.
very impressed with if you can turn a person off smoking. My sister tried hypnotherapy and it didn't work, but I think it's very much about
a habit.
You wanting to give up. And I
Exactly.
think maybe she was told by everyone she should give up, but she didn't want to give up.
The smoking one is interesting. There's got to be a very strong will with the person.
to.
Yeah.
Exactly. So on a scale of 1 to 10, as in 1, you're like, I'm happily smoking all day, every day. And 10 is like, I have to give up. You need to kind of be on a 7 to 8. Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For
No
it to really
hypnotherapist or
land.
no habit breaker can stop it, because it'll just go back. They might stop for like a week.
Yes, and it's about like what the benefits. It's sometimes less about the cigarette, as in having, especially for women, having that pause, because typically now you have to go outside.
Yes.
You have to take that moment.
Forces you.
Exactly, it forces
And it forces
you.
you
to have space.
sometimes, I think, to have a bit of a moment to yourself.
Exactly
Or with some
that.
people, it forces you to have a conversation with someone outside work. So, yeah, I think there's so many attachments to certain things. I think the giving up side of what you do, there's a very much a strong element of having that person very much, definite that this is what they want to achieve.
Exactly that.
And if you can't
Exactly.
perform miracles,
No.
if they're not willing to change, then it doesn't matter what you do.
Exactly
You're
that.
not going to get them to.
It's that willingness to change, and that's
Yeah.
where like we can move people forward.
Yeah,
sure.
it's really impressive how you can do that.
So what do you think is most misunderstood about anxiety and burnout?
Most misunderstood. I would say that
Misunderstood anxiety.
For
People
sure.
use anxiety, that name,
I think
all
it's
the time now. My 25-year-old
Everyone's
talks about
anxious these
everyone's
days.
anxious.
yes.
Between being young and when they're older, they become
Yes.
even more anxious because their world shrinks and
Mm-hmm.
they don't have the same confidence.
No, exactly.
So, yeah.
Your brain will convince you, because
Yeah.
it's your
brain.
your primitive part of your brain will
Amazing.
convince you, and it's very emotional because it wants you to remember any things that it creates. It wants you to remember.
Yeah.
And therefore it will like add on emotion
Yeah.
onto them, so it will make you feel like this is insurmountable. I'm the only person that's ever been here.
Yeah.
And it's like...
It's so true. It's like a learned behaviour. And that's why I get particularly worried when I see children saying they're anxious.
Yeah.
Because you think, if you're anxious now,
how are you going to
Yes.
cope
what's it
later
going to
on?
be like for you later on?
It's true.
They do that at school. It's for school work usually.
Yes.
Like before GCSEs.
I hate that word being used for kids.
They
Yes.
I can understand, yes, they're worried or they're nervous,
Yeah, they're
but I'd rather
nervous.
give
I
it
think
another
they're
label
nervous.
in my
Yeah.
mind, because
Yeah.
anxiety for me is a learned behaviour. Usually it's when you've hit a really bad time or panicked quite heavily. This is my opinion anyway. You've panicked quite heavily, it's thrown you into this very unsafe sort of feeling, and it's been taught, your brain's been taught to feel that way, and then you come back to it. And I think, it's almost, you have to have a disaster or some sort of personal disaster to put you in that unsafe space to then start having anxiety. And that's my definition of anxiety. Obviously, not everyone thinks the same way. But to say that children are anxious, and I'm sure they probably are. I'm sure people, if they've gone through really terrible times, they are. But it just worries me that it's been used as a word to cover too many things along the way. Like just being worried or just being, nervous.
Yes.
Nervous for studying.
Yeah. No.
Nervous for exams.
Yeah.
But they haven't got anxiety
nervous of not knowing or not having done it, or having had maybe... I think about my son because he's a bit anxious, so they say, at the moment. I've been told he's anxious all the time. But I really want to get to the bottom of what it really is. I don't think it's all about the big word anxiety. I think there's so many things that he's just feeling overwhelmed at the moment.
Exactly that. Yeah. And it's like I do feel like I see it with a lot of clients as well, because obviously what we went through with COVID and how it was like on a dime, everything went overnight. Everyone's like primitive brain is now hypervigilant for any kind of clue that anything's going down the pan. And so we do have more of, rather than us having a base level of monitoring for things going wrong, it's now like we're operating at a higher level.
More.
Exactly that. And I feel like with anxiety as well, is it builds sometimes with some children being in, like, because you're small and you're learning your way through life and you're forming all your narrative memories and you're learning.
And you'd think there'd be an opportunity for you to intervene and to stop those feelings from developing.
It is a perfect time as well. So there are like hypnotherapists that will, as long as children can like talk and express themselves, they are able to do hypnotherapy, and it's a really great, like, it's
Can children express themselves? Are they good at expressing? Do they know what they want?
It looks slightly different
Depends
sometimes.
who they're with, I find.
So, for example,
Not with you, but
Not with me.
it's usually never with the parents.
Yes.
It's usually with people like you.
Yeah.
yes,
So do you bring children in? Are you having more?
yes, we'll talk to children, and it will
What
just
ages?
be usually about, I would say, 8, 9, 10. That's and like the trance element, like where we do the relaxation, adults will typically take any opportunity to lie down and close their eyes. Children, it can look quite different. They may be playing, they may be drawing.
Okay.
So and that's when they're in that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because their brain is still listening, and they're still like receptive to the messages. And we might adapt like the brain science. So rather than logical brain and primitive brain, it will be like, I had a client call it flower brain and naughty brain. And it's just making it real for them.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Because it's the science, you can explain it in a way that they will understand. So they can, and it just gives them more awareness. So like if you're feeling not nervous or worried about a test at school, it's like, oh, okay, this is just like naughty brain, like just trying to show up, but actually, like, my
Naughty
good brain. Yeah, naughty brain. Yeah.
So how do people find you?
They find me on Instagram at Bad B _hypnotherapy.
Bad B _hypnotherapy. Have you got a website?
I do, yes, at www.badbhypnotherapy.com.
Okay,
Are
you
there
can't
any
look
other
at...
bad bitches out there?
I'm sitting with two of them right now, so bad bitches are everywhere, and I'm so privileged to know so many.
Thank you so much.
No, it's been an absolute
It's been a
pleasure.
pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.
Oh,
And Hope you'll keep coming to the Just Women Live.
I'm very excited.
I've got lots of people to introduce you to. So, the great thing about this Just Women Live, everyone networks.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a big connection.
And they all need each other.
opportunities
It's
to
really
connect.
interesting. One person goes, oh my God, I must come and see you. Or, they'll come to your event. Or,
Yes.
and I'm sure you'll have something that you'll have a small event where you'll get people together and maybe do a hypnotherapy session. Would be great, even if it's an online event.
Yes.
It'd be brilliant.
We've got some ones. We've got an online Bad B reset coming up,
Oh,
and
have you?
also a Bad
Yay.
B reset in the day, like a live event.
Wow.
Where we're going to have like a sound bath, and we're going to
Yeah.
have
Ooh,
like.
sounds
Oh my gosh! I'm so
amazing.
excited.
Is that a day thing?
That is an afternoon event
Oh, I'd
in
love to do
Benetton.
that.
Yes, I'll send
So,
you.
lovely.
please
Send
do.
us the
info.
This year?
Yes, yeah, on the 7th of June.
Oh,
coming up.
brilliant.
Perfect.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
set us up for our
Amazing.
event.
Definitely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
It's a privilege. Thank you so much
We'll
for
see
having
each other
me.
definitely again.
Yes.